Alright, now we're going to add PDFs to a session inside a Bluebeam Studio project. The way to do this is to navigate to a file and go to Add to New Session. Just give it a name, and it will now move that file to that session, mark it as checked out here, and start the session here. So you can see here that it has this icon that it's in session, and you look in the folder in the project. Then over here it will kick us over from projects to sessions. Right now, because I started this, I'm the only one listed in this session, and the file that we started it with is the only one present in this session. You'll notice in here, when you go to settings, that I'm the only attendee here. You can also see that here. You can add others in here. And that will, I'll send them an invite or allow them to be inside it. You can also do the same thing here in this little envelope and add someone there as well. Or you can add groups of people to this. I suggest having groups if you do this very often, because this process, unfortunately, is very manual and does not take any clues from your project. So the session can have entirely different users set up in it and entirely different permissions that are just not tied together at all. So those two will be invited there. They'll show up if they actually accepted it. Now inside of here, subsequently you can go in and now you can start to add to existing session, which is shown here, which obviously don't name it session because it's a little confusing. But each time I click on one like that, it will show in here. This to me is another problem that this has, in the sense of there's not really restrictions built into here to keep people from adding a new session. So essentially anyone can become an admin of another session and sort of hijack project information because of the way this is set up. It should be that it's actually administered through the Bluebeam Studio project, so you have one chain of command, one person responsible, but currently is not. So anyway, so all those things go into here. Now you can see just by adding these pieces are here, but if I click on this, I will now jump into the session version. You can tell that by this piece here. And now multiple people could be working on this. Once we do anything to this, we could yellow it out, do whatever, jump into another file, and do another red line, whatever it is. Multiple people could be in here. It all is working just fine. Where this starts to break down is the speed at which you can push these things back in. You can update the project copy, but I have seen this take an undetermined amount of time. So it's not like, hey, we're all done, click it, shove it back in here. There's a lag. I don't often know how long it takes, but I've seen it take hours. And that's just not usually very useful because it leaves it as sort of in limbo. So that would be the reason not to use it. Until that part's fixed, it's a little bit of a unfulfilled promise in my opinion of it.